crying, I'm traumatized. This is D-Day. This is the end. This is the apocalypse. Nothing gets worse than this. Hi guys, welcome to a new video. Today we're going to be discussing school camps, which I have attended quite a few of in my lifetime, and every single one of them was different, in both the worst and the best ways. So today I'm going to be guiding you through my most memorable memories of school camp, and all of the pain and suffering I had to endure. Last video I was using a script, and I can't lie, I just feel like I'm way funnier without one. When I use a script, I just feel like I sound kind of robotic, and I can't really bring out my personality, so you're gonna hear the real me. Were you ever a fan of school camp? Maybe you're still in school. Maybe you never went on a school camp. That's okay. I don't think you missed out on much, to be honest. In fact, I honestly think that you dodged a few bullets. For me, anyway. In my opinion, school camp is one of those things where you really have to be the kind of person to enjoy it. And it also depends who you're cabined with, who you're doing your activities with, what the activities are, if the food's good. There's so many different aspects to a school camp, and so many of those aspects could completely ruin your experience. So today I'm going to be telling you guys some of my most unfortunate camp stories, which I did live through. This story starts when little 8-year-old me got sent off on my first camp. It was about 30 minutes from my house, and it was with my school cohort, a bunch of second graders. So that night, all of us are on our night walk. It was like the local area, and as we were walking through, we come across a football club. Now, this was like the back of the football club. They were having some kind of party function, I don't know, inside. All of a sudden, someone like pulls back the blind and sees us down here. Do you want to know what this grown man did to us? He pulled down his pants and showed us his ass. When we got back to the camp, we had to go to bed. During the night, me and my friend were feeling a little bit cheeky, so we got out of our beds and started roaming around this room because it was huge and there was a bunch of sleeping girls in every single bunk bed. There was only one door to this room, and it was these huge, big double doors that swung open. Anyway, this teacher swings open both double doors to like do her nightly check, and I'm stood there in the darkness, freaking out. I try and run back to my bunk bed, and I feel my foot make contact with some cold, hard thing on the floor, and it was someone's torch that they'd left on the floor. I rolled on that shit like a fucking banana peel. Bam! I was on the floor and I didn't know what to do because at this point, if I got up, it was game over. She was gonna see me. I could see her coming towards me, but she couldn't see me because her torchlight hadn't really got to me yet. So in a desperate attempt to hide myself, I crawled under some random person's bed, and she did her nightly round for about 20 minutes. So I was stuck under this person's bed for about 20 minutes. That morning, I woke up to screaming. The most ear-piercing scream I've ever heard in my life. And I thought it was part of my dream because it kind of stopped when I woke up. All of a sudden, that same teacher is beside my bed, and she's like, "It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, you're okay, it was just a dream." I'm thinking to myself, damn, did my bunkmate scream? Who screams? Like, I'm not even scared. Like, one night away from my parents. Not that deep. It was me that screamed. I don't know why, because honest to God, I was not homesick, nothing. I wasn't having a bad dream. I don't even know. I just screamed in my sleep, like ear-piercingly bad. I woke up everyone in the girls' dorm and the boys' dorm. Yeah, I was the center of attention for about 2 hours. People were like, "Did you scream?" And I was like, where'd you get that one? That's just a rumor. I don't know. Did I? I don't know about that one. Let's dive into story 2, which could possibly be like one of those stories that might sound a little bit unbelievable because of how bad my luck was on this particular day. I genuinely think that someone in the universe, maybe God, maybe Satan himself, had it out for me because I was having the worst day. This story starts in 3rd grade camp, actually, when I was 9. So this is my second camp, the second year, and this time the camp was 2 or 3 days long, actually, and 2 nights. So on the first day we arrived, they had a small ropes course set up for us. They give you the whole safety procedure, and they give you like helmets and all those things, and you think to yourself, damn, even if I fell off this, what's gonna happen? The worst that's gonna happen is what I give myself a bruise. It is like less than a foot off the ground. Nothing's happening, right? I'm climbing on these things, and next thing you know, I slip and I fall, and I winded myself really badly. I started crying. It hurt so much. I thought I like broken a rib or something. After that, I'm thinking to myself, man, what a terrible start to my camp. But little did I know, my first activity was bush hut making. Sounds easy enough, right? Our supervisor instructs us how to make the hut. We all pair off into individual groups and we all start making our huts. And it's kind of a competition to see who has the best one. I'm making this like I'm literally an architectural genius. So I'm thinking to myself, let me get a better angle. Let me get the high ground. So I find this really nice looking mound of dirt and I stand on it. I'm looking at this thing, hands up to my face, checking out the angles. Yep, I think this is the most symmetrical, perfect hut I've ever seen in my life. What's that feeling on my feet? I look down, and when I look down, I'm seeing maybe 200 minimum bull ants, bull-size Australian-looking ants crawling up my legs and into my shoes. What the fuck? I screamed to the teacher, "Bull ants! The bull ants! Oh my god! Help me! Please help me!" That's the vibe. They take off my shoes. Lo and behold, I have been bitten numerous times and my feet are in no good condition. I'm crying, I'm traumatized. This is D-Day, this is the end, this is the apocalypse. Nothing gets worse than this. So they take off their shoes and they're peeling literal bull ants out of my socks. I don't even know how they got in my socks. They must have been some pretty loose socks. Anyways, I'm thinking to myself, man, can't get much worse than this. It could. And it did. I get told to go to the medical bay, because they had this little cabin and there was a guy in there and he said that he'd given me like an ice pack. I go over to this cabin and the guy's like, yeah, I put the ice pack outside on this bench. Why did you do that? That is the most inconveniencing thing for me right now. You want me to walk more? He's like, get your daily steps and go. Anyways, I walk over to this bench and I am maybe one more step away from it. And look down. There's a little hitch in the path. There's a little stone out of place. And I look down 1 second too late because I trip on that shit. And I rip the skin off both my knees. Clean. I'm down. A soldier has fallen. So I reach out for maybe a god, maybe a helping hand. I reach for that bench and I get a splinter. Yep. What the fuck? Someone's out there. Someone wants blood. So I'm thinking, okay, this is a joke. Like, 9-year-old me was starting to question everything. I was like, we living in a simulation and someone paid money to watch me suffer? Because no way. At night, I go to bed absolutely traumatized. And yes, I did have a genuine fear of ants for 5 or 6 years after this event. Lying in bed that night, and I'll just tell you, I was a skinny, tiny bitch when I was a kid, okay? I was a stick figure of a person. I don't know how I was not blown away in the wind. I was tiny, okay? I was probably 4'5", weighed maybe 20 kilos, okay? It was not good. I'm lying in my bed in my sleeping bag and there was no blankets on these beds. They're just a plasticky mattress kind of. And there's a little gap between the mattress and then the railing on the side, and I'm on the top bunk, right? In the night, dozed off in my sleep, I somehow, with my 2D ass body, managed to slide my way through this little gap and fall to the floor. And I didn't just fall to the floor, I fell on the poor girl who was sleeping on the floor because there wasn't an extra bed in our room, so they put a mattress on the floor. I fell on top of her. That poor soul. To be fair, I probably weighed a book, but no one wants a book falling on them. After I woke up from that, I thought that we were done. I thought that maybe this was the camp where I did die. I was a victim, I was a casualty. I thought that was going to be the end for me. I was so paranoid by the end of that camp that on the final night, I woke up to a drip on my head. And I thought that ceiling was about to cave in. I thought that ceiling was filled to the brim with water above me and was just about to burst and plummet water all over me. That's how paranoid I was. So I got out of my bed, turned on my torch, and walked all the way down the campsite to where the teacher's cabin was, knocked on that door, pulled a teacher out and said, "Hey, I think my cabin's flooding." I had one drop fall on my forehead, and I said my cabin was flooding. My teacher walks down to my cabin thinking, Jesus Christ, what the hell? We didn't pay for these, what the hell? She walks into my cabin room, takes a look around and goes, "Where'd the leak come from?" I pointed up to that ceiling, the most proud smile plastered on my dumb face. I thought I had cracked the code. I thought I had just prevented a serious incident. I thought I just prevented a lawsuit. She looks at me, she goes, "That's called condensation." And I was like, "Oh, I knew that. Just checking. Just making sure. Don't even worry about it." And that right there was my 3rd grade camp story, which I personally think might be one of the most traumatic memories of my childhood. I fully thought someone was out to get me. That's gonna be it for this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy these kind of videos. And I'll be back next time with part 2 to discuss some even more traumatic memories that I had on school camp, which I personally believe are even funnier than these stories. So stay tuned for that.